Hey, it's me, MLB. This is chapter 84 of Touched. This one is titled Just Desserts. You fell into the deepest sleep that you'd ever had and woke to sunlight streaming in through your window. "What time is it?" you croaked loudly as you sat bolt upright in bed, pushing Hawks' wing off your body. "Whoa, chicken," Hawks rasped as he rubbed an eye. "What happened?" "Hyoko, is he okay? He didn't wake up for his feed last night." Hawks sat up and jumped off the bed, running to Hyoko's room before you could even hop out of the bed. "He's okay, he's still sleeping," Hawks said softly with relief as you approached him at the side of the cot. "Oh, thank God," you sighed quietly. Hawks hooked an arm around your waist and pulled you into his side. "Happy anniversary, baby," he whispered lovingly as he bent his head down to kiss you. "Has it been a year already?" you whispered in shock as you both tiptoed out of Hyoko's room. "Yep, one whole amazing year, full of adventure," Hawks said brightly. "Wow, that's gone quick," you said as you reached for your very swollen breasts and winced. "God, I hope Hyoko wakes up soon because my boobs are going to explode." Hawks chuckled and strolled to the kitchen. "You want a hot drink?" he asked as he opened the cupboard. "Yes, please," you said happily. Hawks strolled happily into work later that morning, smiling and waving at his colleagues as he made his way to his office. Now to get a private investigator for Brian, and gotta call someone else too, Hawks thought deviously as he got to his room and entered. He casually sat down at his desk and reached for the work phone and rang a number. Yeah, hey Bill, it's Hawks here," he said happily into the speaker as he sat back in the chair. "Good, man, how's the missus?" There was a pause as Bill replied. "Good to hear. Hey, listen, I need a business audited," Hawks said as he sat forward and reached for a pen and paper. Nothing in particular, just want to make sure it's up to scratch." 3 weeks passed and a private investigator had been tailing Miranda and Mr. Fudgepacker, getting lots of very juicy and very incriminating pictures of their sordid affair. It was early one afternoon and Brian was headed into town to get his hair done at Jasmine's salon. He had taken Norman as well because those two had become inseparable. "You gonna be a good baby for Daddy?" Brian baby talked into the rear view mirror, looking at his little pup in the puppy seat. The little oddball wiggled his bottom in response and Brian smiled. "Of course you will, you're perfect," he exclaimed as he pulled up in the parking spot and hopped out. After a short walk to the salon, he entered with his usual greeting. "Hey girl, hey," he called as he snapped his fingers in a Z shape. "Hi Pooh Bear," Jasmine's deep voice called back as Brian sashayed in and kissed her on the cheek, then the other. "How's the little baby?" Jasmine asked as she crouched slightly to look at Norman, who was tucked happily into Brian's Gucci tote bag. "He is doing amazing, as you can see," Brian said flamboyantly. "He's adorable," Jasmine said with a perfect smile. "Right," Brian agreed as he popped his hip out. "Now, babes, what are we doing today?" Jasmine asked as she straightened and looked up at Brian. "Girl, I'm gonna need you to work your magic. My hair is atrocious," Brian moaned as he strutted past Jasmine and sat down in the chair. "So, what are we doing today then, Pooh?" Jasmine asked as she walked up behind Brian and ran her fingers through his hair to see what she was working with. "Well," he said as he sat his bag down on the floor with Norman still tucked inside, "let's keep the long undercut because I am vibing it so hard right now. And maybe just a little balayage. Just zhuzh it up a little smidge," he said as he pulled all kinds of faces and dramatic hand movements. "Mm-hmm." Jasmine nodded as she continued to play with his hair and see where it needed a little tidying up here and there. "Honey buns, you got any tea?" Brian asked suddenly. "I am 100% here for a long session, so let me get comfy." "Oh, of course, baby boo-boo. Let me flick the kettle on and I'll get everything ready for you," Jasmine said with a beautiful smile as she turned and walked off. Brian leaned forward and picked up a celebrity mag to have a little look through while he waited for Jasmine, and she was back in no time. "Did you hear about Doris?" she asked as she pinned the plastic gown around Brian's neck and sat it straight. "No," Brian gasped. "What happened? She made the best cookies. Oh, my Rihanna, they were amazing." "She got done for possession of marijuana," Jasmine said with a still surprised look on her face. "Oh, God," Brian gasped as he touched his fingers to his chest. "It's always the little white head ladies. You know, when I saw her with Bertha from the arts and crafts shop, I had a feeling she was with the wrong crowd," he said as he pointed his nose in the air. "Ooh, hot water's ready. Let me get you the tea, Poo-Poo," Jasmine said as she went back to the kitchenette and got a cup of tea for Brian and herself. "Thank you, sweet bean," Brian called as she reappeared with the tea and a biscuit. The two continued to chat and gossip as Jasmine applied the bleach mixture to the ends of Brian's hair to lighten it up a little. Once the paste was applied, both Brian and Jasmine picked up their cups of tea to have a little break while they waited for the dye to set. They were deep in conversation when all of a sudden they heard a loud yell from outside. "Ooh, what's going on?" Jasmine asked as she stood up and walked to the window with tea still in hand. "What is it?" Brian asked as he walked up beside her, holding his cup of tea as well. "It's over, Miranda!" Jeff, Miranda's husband, shouted as he stormed out of her flower shop. "No, wait, it's all lies. I don't know who told you, but it's lies. Why would I cheat on you? I love you," Miranda wailed as she chased him out of the shop. "Ooh, girl," Brian hissed as he sipped his tea. "This is what I came for." "I have photos, Miranda. I have physical evidence that you have been unfaithful," Jeff screamed back at her. "They've been photoshopped. Someone's trying to frame me," she wailed, clutching onto his coat and falling dramatically onto the sidewalk so he couldn't leave. This is good tea, babe," Brian said to Jasmine as he took another sip, the two continuing to watch the drama from the salon shop window. "I'm taking everything," Jeff hollered. "I'll make sure you don't get a cent, you lying, cheating witch." Good tea," Jasmine said softly in her rich voice as she took another sip. Jeff grabbed his coat and ripped it from Miranda's hands as he opened his car door and hopped in, slamming it shut in her face. "Abuse! You punched me!" she screamed as she banged her fists on his car window. "I'll tell them you abused me and raped me and assaulted me," she screamed. "No one will ever believe you, ever again." Jeff smiled at her, then pointed to Jasmine and Brian in the salon window. Miranda looked to where he was pointing and paled as both Jasmine and Brian smiled sweetly and gave her a little finger wave back. "Witnesses!" Brian and Jasmine heard Jeff yell from inside his car before starting it and driving away. Oh, this chapter was such a pleasure to write. Stay tuned for chapter 85 coming tomorrow.